Hello and welcome to the Latah Valley Fiber Co podcast. My name is Tiffany. Thank you so much for joining me today. I have a finished object to share with you as well as a work in progress. I'm slowly making my way through the Dandelion Dress, so I want to show you that as well as a spinning project. So let's get started. You can find me on Instagram at Latah Valley Fiber Co. You can check out my shop, latahvalleyfiberco.etsy.com. And if you would like to direct message me, lvfiberco@gmail.com. So, it is October, and it's Socktober, technically. I have knit and completed one pair of socks. I had grand aspirations to knit up to 4 pairs of socks, and I don't think I'm going to get that done. I'll do one more. My mother-in-law would like a new pair of socks, so I'll knit one more, and then that'll be it for Socktober for me. If I wasn't already knitting a fingering weight dress for my niece, I would probably get at least another pair in there, but such is life. Okay, so let's just talk about my finished project, which is a pair of socks. This is my own hand-dyed yarn. It's the Tiger Lily sock set, so it came with a mini for your heel, toes, and cuff if you wanted to use it for that. I only used it for my toe and heel, so I'll show you that. These are the Woodland Walk socks by Olivia Villareal, and I used 2.25 millimeter circular needles for this. I did one at a time. I cast on 64 stitches, and here they are. So the pattern you have runs up on the outside of your foot. So I have a left and a right sock, no, this is right, this is left. So I knit the cuff, that they start cuff down, and I knit those for 15 rows of twisted rib, which is what the pattern calls for. And then I knit a repeat and a half of the pattern here before I started the heel. I did the heel, which is a little bit different than I normally do. I typically do slip stitch, which this is slip stitch, but every other row you're changing the order of what you're slipping. So it's this nice thick patterning on the heel flap. You also knit 3 stitches before and after, so it has this nice garter stitch on the edge of your heel. And then normal gusset, and then decreases until you hit your toe, which I did at 7 inches. I knit the leg of the foot, the foot of the foot for 7 inches, and then started the toe. I did knit just one straight round and then went right into decreasing after that. So these are finished. They're not for anybody in particular. I will make a note that the foot size is size 7, so that needs to be like a person who wears an 8 to 9 shoe. Okay, so those are finished. This is really a lovely pattern. It was really engaging, but it was only on a section of the sock as you were knitting around. So I worked real fast, would get to the patterning, do it, and then move on. So it went really fast. This is a free pattern, so check that out on Ravelry if you'd like to. I started those on the 3rd, and I finished them yesterday, the 15th. So they went pretty fast. I didn't work on them every day because I'm also working on a fingering weight dress. So let's talk about that next. This is the Dandelion Dress by Petite Knit. I am using my own hand-dyed yarn in the colorway Mulberry. So it's a sock yarn, needles for this are 2.75 circular, and I cast on for the size 4-5, which I think is the fifth. Yeah, fifth size in the pattern. Lots of good sizes for all the different ages of children, which is good. I've knit several. I think I started with a third size, realized that was too small, and slowly worked my way up till now I think I'm at the right size. So this is by Petite Knit. I forgot if I didn't say that or not. I am almost there to the end, and then I'll need to pick up, there's an I-cord edging around the neck, and it does call for sleeves. I've not done that with the other three dresses that I've done for this, so I'm not going to do that here. I'll just do an I-cord edging like I did with everybody else. And then, okay, so this is where I'm at. I've done the, let's see, here's the dandelion stitch there, and then I need to knit 18 rounds, and then from there I do one more section of 20 rounds, and then I fold that over, and that's the end of the dress. So I'm almost there. This, I'm at quite a few stitches. I can't remember. Oh, I am at 396 stitches on one round. So that's a lot. It takes me a while to get through it. I haven't timed it or anything, but everybody knows fingering weight moves a lot slower with the more stitches that you have. So yeah, so I'm almost there, and then I can do the finishing touches, and I'll also put a button right here. I'll probably do gray or something that would match the dress color. I did that with all the other ones. So that's coming along, and it's almost finished. I have this much yarn left, and I do have another skein just in case I run out, which did happen on the other two dresses. When I went up to the fourth size, I really needed that third skein, and I didn't do that because with the first size 3, 2 skeins was enough, and I just didn't factor that in, that I would need another skein. So I went with what I had and then bound off. So, okay, that's it for the dandelion dress. I did start this 9/3. It needs to be done by November 1st. So I'm almost there. Should have it done relatively quickly. Okay, the next and final project is a spinning project, and I haven't spun since last winter. I don't know why. Just busy summer life with a kiddo, I guess, and trying to keep him occupied throughout the summer. So I've picked that back up, and I've started with this. This is what I have left, plus a little bit. I spin right here. So I have maybe 2 feet left of another one. What I did was I took the braid and I split it straight down the middle, and then I spun from the top to the bottom, and that's what I have here. So lots of different colors, the gray, reddish, orange. There's some green in there. It's covered up currently. But you'll see by this, there's green, and then orange, reddish, and some gray. So once I split it down and I spun from top to bottom, I took the other half and I separated it, not down the middle, but I folded it in half and then like this. Okay, so instead of splitting it down, I took it in half like that up here, and I took that apart. So then I spun halfway down, and then so this is the final one. When I spin this, I'm not sure. There's lots of different techniques and ways that you can spin. Some people will start with the full braid at the top and just spin their way down to the end. But there's all kinds of techniques that you can utilize in your spinning to experiment, and that's basically what I'm doing. I've never done this before. I've split, you know, down the middle and then spun from the top to the bottom and then spun from the top to the bottom on 2 different bobbins and then plied them together in a 2-ply. This one I'm going to do it this way and then I'm going to chain ply it. So it's all going to go on 1 bobbin and then I'll chain ply it back on itself and we'll see what we get. So I should have this done in the next couple of weeks and I'll show you what that looks like. I do have another braid of this. I dyed this myself. I added it's wool and alpaca that I blended on my carder and then dyed it multiple colors to get, you know, kind of a fall inspired braid of fiber, and I really enjoyed the dyeing process with this. So I'm excited to see how it looks at the end. With the alpaca, it should be slightly drapey. There's not a ton in there, but there's enough that it'll be soft and maybe a little drapey. We'll see. So that'll be exciting. I do have one more braid of this, so I could possibly get 2 skeins out of that for a project, which would be nice. I could do a color work sweater. That would be amazing. I've done that a couple years ago, I think, that I spun a braid and then used that in the, was that the Agnes by, can't remember who that was by, maybe Petite Knit, can't remember, but anyway, I have made a little bit of progress on my blanket, but I'm not going to show that to you this week, so we'll see in a couple weeks for that. I did want to talk about the socks for my mother-in-law because she was pretty specific. She wanted pink cuff on the top and then a gray on the bottom, and I've done a pair like that before for her. I'll put a picture here. She mentioned they're a little short for her winter boots. Not winter boots, but boots that she, dress boots. What are those called? Ankle boots, I guess, that you wear in the winter. So, you know, they sit just a little bit above your ankle. Well, the socks, these pink and gray ones, don't come to the top of that. So she needs a little bit more length on the either the cuff or the leg. I'm not sure what I want to do yet. The cuff was a specific cuff that I had done where you do a picot edge on it. So I could maybe figure that out and just do a longer leg. That would probably be the easiest. So that's my plan for that. I do want to show you the color the yarn that I'm going to use for that. All right, this is my basket of sock yarn, leftover sock yarn from my various projects. And so I was in here looking to see if I had the same gray left over, I can't remember, from her previous pair of socks that I knit. And this is what I have for gray, which I don't think that this is what I used. I'm pretty sure I used a solid. You know, I have a notebook. I should look in there. And see what gray specifically I used. I hope I made a note for Vicky. Oh, right here. Okay, so no, this is not the colorway. I used Booth, which was more of a solid dark gray, so that's not this. This hat is mainly gray, but as you can see, it has different colors in it. So she may not like that. This is the pink that I used on... No, this is not the pink I used on this cuff. Okay. I'm not doing very good here. So I must have used all that, those colors, because this is what I have. Bright pink, a little bit lighter pink, and then this is what I used on my most recent socks. So I think she wants a lighter pink. So I'm going to use this, and then, so that means I need to pull a gray from my shop and use that. So that'll be fine. I have a gray in there that will work perfect. It's pretty dark. Let me show that to you. Okay, I have this gray. It's called Tabitha, and it actually comes with a pink mini. So I could just use that. This is not the same gray that I used previously. Again, it was Booth. This is naturally dyed. Both of these are. The Booth colorway that I used was dyed with acid. So the deal with naturally dyed is it does fade over time. It's not as color fast as the yarn dyed with citric acid or vinegar. So, this is what I'm thinking, and I'll get started on that probably today. So, yeah. Okay, that is all. Is that all? Oh, one more thing. I did some sewing last week. This last spring, my husband and I had our basement, which was unfinished. At the time, we had it finished. So there's 2 bedrooms and a family room and an additional room for a bathroom at some point. So anyway, the final thing to do down here was put up some curtains. So I'll put in a little video here of my work on that. I did this gray ticking, which is just beautiful. It's perfect down here. It lets in enough light. I can also open the curtains if I want to, but it gives a little bit more privacy. And as you know, when you're filming in front of the window, as there's clouds and cars going by, different lighting can happen. So with the curtain, I'm hoping it's a little bit more even. So yeah, that was a fun project. I haven't sewn in a while due to all the construction that was going on down here. So that was fun to get out my sewing machine and work on that project. So, okay, that's it for me. I hope you all have a great October. I'll see you again in a couple weeks. And until then, happy crafting.